All right, let's go through some things that we can do to help work on the function of the intrinsic muscles right here in the foot. So we're going to go through, and one of the big things I really want is I want a nice wide foot. We want to have as big of a base of support, as much contact area with the ground as possible, and that'll also help us with getting really good function to help pull the foot up over top of the toes. So first things first here is creating a little bit of width through the toes. So we're going to take our hands, fingers go in between the toes, just like this. One of the things we also commonly see is a collapsing right through here, through the toes, and this is a great way to help start to mobilize that area of the foot. So we're going to sink our hands right down in there. Might be a little tender, you'll be all right. We're going to take this and we're just going to do a little bit of mobilizing hand, really kind of getting a grab even onto the foot itself, not just the toes, and get a little bit of lengthening through that area on the outside. So this does a couple of things, and one of the biggest things it does is it really just gets the brain to start feeling the joints and the muscles here in the foot, so that when we go into our activation, you can actually start to feel and control these joints better. Next step after going through and mobilizing these joints is I want to start working on these small muscles inside the foot that essentially do this function right here and this function right here. Those are the muscles that actually help to support the tendons of those longer muscles and help to prevent this curling effect. So right here, we're going to go squeezing together. So I'm going to try to compress and squeeze my fingers. You'll be able to get the feedback directly from the fingers and the pressure from the fingers. Something to watch for is we're going to try to avoid bringing the toes up and avoid really flexing the toes over. Try to keep the toes nice and long as you're doing it. And then we're going to go ahead and do the opposite and try to offload the foot. As you do this and you start to offload the foot and take the big toe and little toe away from each other, you can even keep your hand right here and really feel this muscle start to come and activate and work on controlling that abduction movement of the big toe. A couple of rounds of that, and then we're ready to start loading it here on the ground and working on a little bit of toe control. Now we can come up, just go little toes up, big toe up, little toes up, big toe up, getting a little bit of isolation. Now I want all the way up, try to spread the foot, and then come down, just like that. Spread the foot, come down, try to create as much space in between the big toe and the little toe as possible. And try to avoid, you see I need to work on this a little bit as well. So I get that little bit of collapse right there through the knuckles. And if I overwork it, that's what we're trying to avoid. So coming down, nice and long. You can even use your fingers here to try and help to guide you into lengthening through that toe. And start feeling like you're able to keep a little bit of pressure down into the ground with those toes. Once again, up, widen, bring them down, and then challenge a little bit on being able to create effort down into the ground.